Hello and welcome back to another episode from the Debate Kid Sports Podcast. Today, I got a solo episode for you guys. Power rankings for the MLB for the month of April. I had some power rankings preseason that never got turned into a video. So here I am bringing you some MLB updates for each team. I'm going to be putting them into power rankings. 1 through 30 and seeing where each team fits in its respective division as well. This is at the time these were made in the middle of April. I'm not sure when this video is going to come out, but hopefully very, very soon, unless something goes very, very wrong. But yeah, power rankings starting with 30 to 1. Let's just jump right into it. Quick public service announcement. If you guys are not subscribed and enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing. It would help out the channel greatly. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. Josh and I would very much appreciate it. So again, if you like this type of content, please subscribe. Now, let's begin the video. So, power rankings for the middle of April for the MLB. Starting at number 30, we got the Colorado Rockies. They're just not a very good team on paper. Their hitters are mad, besides Trevor Story and Charlie Blackmon. But their pitching is like the worst in the league. Their bullpen combined with their starters doesn't matter. Pitching overall in general is just very, very poor, and it really hurts them, especially when you're playing the Dodgers and the Padres 40 times a year. I think they have 20 games apiece with both of those teams. And when your team's not very good and you have to play those two contenders 40 times a year, it really hurts. It really hurts your team and hurts your young guys. And yeah, so that's why Colorado is 30th, and that's why they're 5th in the NL West. At number 29, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are finishing 5th in the NL Central. Yeah, they lost Josh Bell, who was their only really good hitter to say. He went to the Nationals. You know, the hitters have been making some noise. They're like fringe top 10 in almost all like hitting stats, which is actually really surprising because after losing Bell, the Pirates weren't have many guys that could score runs for them. So that was huge. But the pitching has been the downfall, and the starters are worse than most. I have it written down right here. Starters worse than most. By worst, it means almost all. Their pitching is very, very bad. Their bullpen, I don't think, is the worst. It's not good, but it's not like terrible. And I think it's the starters. I don't think it is. It is the starters that are really dragging this team down. So those two combinations, similar to Colorado, that's why Pittsburgh is 29th. 3, 2, 1. At 28, we got the Texas Rangers. Hey, they have 100% fan capacity, which is crazy. A packed stadium for the first time since over a year. That's going to be so fun. So, yeah, we should see how that works out and see if that could that additional boost could help them win some extra games, because this team's not good on paper. That's why they're 28th. But, you know, having them being the only team that has 100% fans, we can see how that plays out. Should be interesting. But, yeah, they're near the bottom in pretty much everything. Hitters, except for Joey Gallo and Nate Lau, they're nothing. And then pitching in the bullpen, I can't name any starters from Texas. But Joey Gallo right now is hitting 256, and Nate Lau has 4 home runs. I mentioned those two guys. Those are the only really fun guys to watch, especially Gallo. Gallo can go on a tear. He gets so hot in the middle of the season. But, yeah, other than that, it's not too much to get excited about. This is a rebuilding year for the Rangers, and that's why they're 5th in the AL West, 28th overall. At number 27, we got the Detroit Tigers from the AL Central. They are finishing last in the AL Central. And, hey, they're surpassing their expectations, I have to say, even though they are at 27th. But, hey, Akil Baddoo, the GOAT, 4 home runs through, like, 13 games. I've never heard of Akil Baddoo before this season, but he's still the GOAT. Wilson Ramos, 6 home runs as well. And they're a fun team, but they're not going to win games, let's be honest. They're in a tough division. You got the White Sox, Indians, Royals, and Twins, all significantly better than the Tigers. It's a rebuilding year. They got a lot of prospects coming up, but it'll be fun, but they're not going to win, I'm going to be honest. At number 26, we got the Baltimore Orioles and led by Cedric Mullins. who is hot. I'm telling you, he is really hitting the ball well, hitting over 360 for sure. But no other hitters besides him. You got Cedric Mullins and nobody else. That's a problem if you want to win baseball games. Baltimore finishing 5th in the AL East. Matt Harvey is the only recognizable pitcher, and even he still has a 5.02 ERA. But they got off to a hot start against the Red Sox, swept them, but have not done much since. The offense has been carried by Mullins, but no one else has stepped up, honestly. Trey Mancini is coming back from his cancer, and it's really impressive that he's in the league, but you still cannot count on him to be like a superstar guy at this point. He's coming back from cancer. So yeah, it's a rebuilding year for Baltimore as well. They're here at 26th. And number 25, we got the most disappointing team, in my opinion. That's the Arizona Diamondbacks. Meh hitting, horrible pitching. This team was not supposed to be terrible. I didn't think they were a playoff team, but I didn't think they were supposed to be this bad either. David Peralta and Christian Walker, two of their better guys, are both hitting sub 200. However, Ketel Marte is hitting 462. That's important to note. Madison Bumgarner, emphasis on the bum, because he's been nothing but a bum. This man is making $85 million, and he has an 11.2 ERA. Arizona, what are we doing? Arizona, what are we doing? This guy's way past his prime. And I mean, I'm not even saying that he should be performing much better than an 11.2 ERA. Yes, he should. But you should not have given this man $85 million. Straight up, he's not worth $85 million. This isn't 2012. Arizona, come on, you better pick something. Pick it up a little bit, or else next month you're going to be even lower. Arizona, they're very disappointing. They're here at 25th and 4th in the National League. Number 24th, we got the Miami Marlins, the bottom feeders, who are 5th in the National League East. But it's a team that I like. I'm going to be honest. They did eliminate my Cubs, but last postseason. But when you score one run over 2 games, you don't really deserve to win. And it's honestly a team that I like. They're in the best division in baseball, in my opinion, which is really tough, them being 5th in the National League East. But they always just string together a bunch of average to above average players like Corey Dickerson, Jesus Aguilar. They have a really young, two really good young pitchers in Sixto Sanchez and Sandy Alcantara. Sanchez is hurt right now, by the way, but Alcantara's been really, really good. 2.45 ERA. However, the bullpen is the worst. I think it is literally the worst in Major League Baseball in terms of WAR. One other fun guy to watch out for is Jazz Chisholm. He's honestly the best fielder, one of the best fielders in the league. Second-year player, might be a rookie. I think this is his first full year in the league, so watch out for him. Really exciting fielder. Decent hitter, not a bad hitter. But yeah, Miami, we'll see how they do. They could surprise everybody last year, build off their postseason momentum. But I don't think they're much higher than 24th as of right now. At number 23, we got the Seattle Mariners. Surprising the hell out of us. They have a 9-5 record and are sitting at top first in the AL West. I think they will still finish 4th in the AL West in terms of winning a World Series. This offense has been carried by Ty France, Kyle Seager, and Mitch Haniger, who are all hitting really, really good splits. I believe over 300 or 290 or something like that. All having really good years. But the James Paxton injury makes he got hurt at the beginning of the season, out for the year, which makes the starting rotation the worst in the league, in my opinion. And that really sucks for Seattle. I didn't think they would carry the momentum anyways, even when France, Seager, and Haniger came back down to earth. Their pitching is just abysmal. And so they do have a lot of young prospects coming up. So the future is bright for Seattle, I will say. But as of right now, they're 23rd. At number 22, we got the Kansas City Royals, who is another surprising team. They're sitting atop first in the AL Central. But again, I think it'll be short-lived once their offense cools off. They got really like split hitting. It's really interesting. Like half of their guys that were supposed to do good are hitting really, really good. Half of the guys are hitting terrible. Salvador Perez, Whit Merrifield, Michael Taylor, all hitting really good. Jorge Soler, Andrew Benintendi, and Carlos Santana, not hitting very good. All hitting around like anywhere between 200 to 210. Like no home runs and like 2 RBIs. Not very good. The pitching is in the middle of the pack. However, Danny Duffy has a 0.75 ERA. Don't think that's going to last. But the Royals, they will be fun. Look for them to dump some guys like Merrifield, Perez, possibly, Soler, Benintendi. No, they just acquired Benintendi. So I would look for Soler, Merrifield, maybe Perez to be dumped off because I don't think they're clearly not in a win now mode. But they do have some guys. So, yeah, Kansas City, surprising us. It's not going to last. I have them 4th in the AL Central, 22nd overall. And number 21, we got the Chicago Cubs. Hitting does not exist in this dojo. Hitting is just unheard of on the Chicago Cubs organization. Hitting 166 for a team batting average. Are you kidding me? What is going on, guys? I mean, come on. Can we... I don't know what... I don't even know what to say. They're just not hitting. I don't know if they're overthinking it or just David Ross is doing something differently in the during practice or something like that. This team just cannot hit. Like they're even like scoring runs. Like there were a few games where they had 5, 6 runs, but they're still getting like 4 hits. Like 6 runs on 4 hits. What the hell is this? I don't know, but this is super concerning. It's funny because the pitchers were the ones that were expected to be terrible. That the Cubs were supposed to, if they were going to win, they were going to win shootouts, like 9-8, 10-7, those kinds of games. And their hitting was supposed to carry them, and their pitchers were supposed to be really, really bad. Mismanagement, trading, not re-signing 4 of our starting pitchers from last year. Thanks, Ricketts. And I would expect to see major changes this year. We still do have a lot of young guys, but they're just not performing. Like Baez is still making the same mistakes in year 1. Bryant, he's kind of floundered since his MVP season, although he is one of the lone bright spots. Him and Contreras have hit well. There's talks that they're not going to bring back Rizzo, which is really disrespectful in my opinion. Eventually, the pitching is going to drop off. So if we can't get this hitting figured out, we will definitely finish as one of the worst teams in the league. Not going to lie. Right now, I have the Cubs at 4th in the National League Central. Get your shit together, Chicago. At number 20, the most confusing team, in my opinion, the Oakland Athletics. What direction is this team going? You finished 2nd in the American League last year. Then you don't Marcus Semien and trade Liam Hendricks. No. They didn't even trade Liam Hendricks. They just didn't even re-sign him. Come on, guys. Are they spending or are they selling? I don't know what this team is doing. They were so good, and now they're just getting rid of everybody besides Chapman and Olsen, who have been really slow. Their season started off as a blowout series by the Astros. Things have started to level out. But, Oakland just really confuses me because I really liked them coming into this year, and then they just made a lot of questionable moves, and I'm not sure what direction they're going in. So I have Oakland here at 20th, 3rd in the American League West, and yeah, someone's got to figure it out. At number 19, we got the San Francisco Giants, and the Giants, they're not a bad team, kind of overperforming right now in my opinion, but I definitely don't see them as a playoff team. Number one reason being that they have to play the Dodgers and the Padres 40 times this year. It's going to be really hard to win those games because I think the Dodgers and the Padres are significantly better than the Giants. They have a lot of better veteran hitters: Brandon Belt, Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford. Wow. Hearing it come out of my mouth right now. Man, really veteran hitters. But they're getting great production from their hitters. Johnny Cueto, Kevin Gausman, Anthony Descalante, something like that. I may have botched that name. But their starting pitching has honestly been like top 5 in the league. So that's good. They should ride those hot pitchers. But again, I don't think they're going to be able to compete with the big dogs. That's why they're at 19th. Speaking of teams that can't compete with the big dogs, let's go to St. Louis. I mean, the one bright spot with the Cubs being bad is that the Cardinals are also pretty bad. So we can just drown our sorrows together. The pitching inconsistency is the number one concern for me. They have no depth besides Flaherty. Flaherty was supposed to carry them, and even he has not been good. To show that, 6.33 starting pitcher ERA over the course of 5 games, which is significantly the worst in the league. But the difference between, I think it's like 0.6 worse than the 29th team. So very, very concerning if you're St. Louis. And, I was always concerned with the consistency of St. Louis's guys, specifically Goldschmidt and DeJong. I knew Arenado would be good, but again, they lost Colton Wong, so that also hurt. But here we go. Goldschmidt, DeJong, and Carpenter are combining for a 153 batting average to start this season. I'm sure they'll pick up, and then everybody will be like, see, Paul Goldschmidt's the best first baseman in the league, and see, Paul DeJong is God. But yeah, besides Arenado, who is hitting 294, 345, and 529, they need some more stability on both sides of the ball, on offense and on pitching. So yeah, St. Louis, they really, really are struggling right now. And they were a team that was supposed to compete. They were supposed to be like a lock to win the division, but now I'm not so sure. In fact, I have them 3rd, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, St. Louis has a lot of problems. At number 17, we got the Washington Nationals, who have just gotten their season underway due to COVID scares. But what is going on with their pitchers? Right out of the gate, they're 27th in starting pitcher ERA at 5.64. Steven Strasburg had one of his worst starts as a National to open up the year for his 2021 year, and that was really crazy. But I still do believe this team can go far. Got Andrew McCutchen, not Bryce Harper, Josh Bell. They picked up Kyle Schwarber and John Lester. They already had Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg, but then they got their guy Juan Soto, who's the guy that they've been building around, and he's been playing like an MVP, as at least he was last year. I think he could be an MVP this year. So Washington, they have the tools. They're just a slow start, so I'm trying not to take recency bias too much in this video. And so Washington's one of those teams that I can see very much moving up really, really fast. So at number 16, we have the Milwaukee Brewers finishing 2nd in the National League Central. Yelich is returning to MVP Yelich, and that's not what I want to say as a Cubs fan. He is really impressive to watch, though, hitting 333, 459, and 363. And there is a big if with this, or a big but, I should say. Not an if, a but. However, the rest of the batters on the Brewers are not. The team batting average is 201. Yelich can't do it all, Milwaukee. However, the starting pitchers are becoming top tier in baseball. Brandon Woodruff and Johnny Peralta and one other young guy that I can't seem to remember. They do have Josh Hader in the bullpen as well. But Brewers right now are 1st in the league in starting pitcher ERA at 2.04. They've been throwing gas, probably because they've been playing the Cubs, but they've been pitching really, really well. I don't know how long I still think they're top 10, but I don't think they're the best in the league. So I think it'll even out eventually. But if Milwaukee can get some support around Yelich, I do think the Brewers could definitely win the division. Number 15, we got the Cleveland Indians, who I predict to finish 3rd in the American League Central. Shane Bieber, clear second best pitcher in my opinion, leading this not so stacked rotation that has been performing. I think he just set a record, or a historical point where he had 10 plus strikeouts in his first 4 games, something along the lines of that. Let me know down in the comments if you know. But he's been really, really, really good. I don't think he's DeGrom level, but I think here's DeGrom, here's Bieber, and then here's like third place. So clear number 2 in my opinion. And however, the hitters have been struggling. I can't even say that they've been struggling. It's just that they don't have that much talent. Since they got rid of Lindor and Santana, it's just the hitting hasn't really been there outside of Jose Ramirez. And that's just problematic. I think Cleveland is another team that you need to look at, and maybe they will dump some guys before the trade deadline. I think they are entering that rebuilding phase now that the pieces, when they lost to the Cubs in the 2016 World Series, those pieces are starting to fall apart bit by bit. However, I can't ignore that Cleveland is playing good baseball right now, so I have them at 15. At number 14, we got the Philadelphia Phillies. First of all, quick PSA, stop hyping up Aaron Nola. He is good, but I don't even think he is top 10. He is playing well, has a I believe sub 3 ERA, which is good from a pitcher, but not top 10, that's for sure. But a big thing for the bullpen, who right now is kind of like just the middle of the pack bullpen, doesn't really help them, doesn't really hurt them. They are missing Archie Bradley, who was one of their better guys that they picked up in the offseason. He is out for quite some time. I don't know if he's out for the season. I'll have to confirm that. But that is a big loss for them. But the Phillies do have a lot of depth, which does help their batting order quite a bit. They got Realmuto, they got Harper. How could I forget they have Bryce Harper? You got Gregorius, who's been good. All three of those guys have been playing pretty well. Harper not for Harper level, but I think Harper's been like the third best hitter out of those three. But yeah, Philadelphia, they do also have all the right tools. If they can maybe get some luck, we're hoping that Washington still kind of hits this cold stretch. Look to see them try and make a move, maybe push for a playoff spot. Right now, I have them third in the NL East, and I could very easily see them moving up. I could very easily see them moving down. At number 13, we have another team that I think is underperforming heavily, and that is the Tampa Bay Rays. They got to the World Series last year, and not a lot has changed except for the loss of Blake Snell. That is a big change, yes. But, the majority of their pieces are there. Rose Arena, they still have Glasnow, Austin Meadows, Brandon Lau. They have all these Willy Adames. They have all these guys that can help them. They haven't lost too much besides Snell, and even Glasnow's shown enough improvement where he can take over as like the clear number one guy, which he is obviously, but like he can elevate his game. And all their offensive guys are still there. They're still underperforming heavily, and without Glasnow's incredible numbers, I think they would be honestly pretty terrible. He has a 1.3 WAR, whereas all their starting pitchers have like a 1.9 WAR or something like that as a total. So he's really carrying that. And the hitters need to start hitting. I mentioned all those guys that they have, but those are just names. Eventually they have to start performing. And that's not what we've seen. They lost 3 to a woeful Texas team. And you just can't have that. You have this reputation as the team that made it to the World Series and has all these guys and, Tampa Bay this, Tampa Bay that. And you have to perform. You have to go out and play baseball. Right now, they're not doing that. I still think they can be good. But right now, they're 4th in the American League East. At number 12, the team that passed the Rays is another team from the American League East, not least, the Boston Red Sox. Won 9 in a row. And that's really the thing that made them climb my power rankings. 9 in a row. And they've been doing it on, I was going to say they've been doing it on both sides of the ball, but that's not necessarily true. Mostly their offense. Lots of runs being scored. You can kind of see the trend here that it's a lot of the times that pitching is what's dragging teams down and offense is what propelling teams up. That is, again, here the case with the Red Sox. Top 3 in runs and slugging percentage, led by JD Martinez. 867 slugging percentage. That is unheard of. Granted, small sample size. Eventually, it's going to level out, but it's still very impressive. They have 6 starters hitting at 270 batting average: Alex Verdugo, Rafael Devers, Xander Bogaerts. I mentioned Martinez already. So Boston, they've kind of floundered like the Cubs since their World Series victory. They're playing really good right now, and I can't do anything but tip my cap to them. Hopefully, it continues. Right now, they're third in the East and 12 overall. At number 11, just outside the top 10, is the Los Angeles Angels. And we are really starting to see, this is the year, how elite Shohei Ohtani really, really is. Has only had 1 pitching start, but he's averaging 13 and a half strikeouts per 9 innings, and he has 4 home runs. So while he isn't on the mound, he is making his presence known at the plate, which is crazy. We've just never really seen this since Babe Ruth, and he was in the early 1900s. So really, really a generational talent, in my opinion. Again, 750 slugging percentage. The numbers are there. Shohei Ohtani is really just so fun to watch. They're also getting run support besides Mike Trout. 17 home runs as a team, whereas Trout only has like 4. It may not seem like a lot, but trust me, Mike Trout's been carrying this team a lot more than just 4 home runs out of 17. So their supporting cast has definitely helped Mike Trout. I really, really, really want to see him go far in the playoffs. It's only been once, got swept. I really want to see him in the playoffs again because I think they could do good. Angels are really playing good baseball right now. I have them at number 11th. At number 10, we have the Toronto Blue Jays, a team that I'm super, super duper high on. Second in the American League East. And to no one's surprise, the young guys that they have hitting tons of home runs. 13 home runs from their core, who I consider Guerrero, Simeon. Simeon they picked up from the Athletics. I mentioned that earlier. Those 2, and then Bichette and Cavan Biggio as well. So those guys have 13 home runs between the 4 of them, which is really, really good. And the only thing that I can see holding back the Blue Jays is their pitching depth, besides Hyun-Jin Ryu. He's been amazing, 1.88 ERA. But they don't really have anybody else besides him. I mean, Tanner Roark, he's been bad for the past couple of years, including right now. And I that's about it, honestly. Those are the only 2 guys that I can think of in that. Oh, Rich Hill. They also have Rich Hill, I believe. He's struggled as well. So Toronto, I wouldn't be surprised if they go out and try and make some moves, getting him at second guy so that Ryu doesn't have to just throw his arm off in the playoffs because, it's not sufficient having one guy that's really good and then just 4 bums around him. So Toronto, I'm still very, very high on them. I have them in the top 10, but you got to get things figured out. At number 9, we have the Atlanta Braves. Or should I just say the Ronald Acuna Jr., because he has been an absolute one-man wrecking crew. 429 batting average, 1.450 OPS, 7 home runs through 13 games. Wow. He's truly one of the most exciting players. I was going to say young players, but just baseball players in general. He is really, really fun to watch. But the Braves, they've really gotten off to a slow start, which is a bit concerning. The lack of contributions from their depth players has been a bit problematic. I shouldn't even say depth players. They had the National League MVP last year. Freddie Freeman, he hasn't been great. Albies hasn't been great. The one bright spot is Pablo Sandoval. I don't know why I said it's Sandoval. He has been a great pinch hitter. Has 3 home runs during the time that he's been used as a pinch hitter. So career revival time for Pablo Sandoval. But what is going on with Max Fried on the pitching side of things? 11.45 ERA, and he was supposed to be like one of the better pitchers in the league, the best on the Braves by far, and the rest of the pitchers are struggling as well. They give up 13 runs to the Cubs. The Cubs! Come on, Atlanta. You're better than that. This team can still definitely compete for a World Series. It's about all those pieces coming together. At number 8, we have a team that, oh man, I said I wouldn't take recency bias into too much account, but this does not apply for the Cincinnati Reds. At number 8, hottest offense in baseball, 22 home runs, and 456 team slugging percentage. All of them first in the Major League Baseball. Name a hitting statistic. The Reds are probably first in it. Led by Castellanos, Mike Moustakas, Eugenio Suarez, Tucker Barnhart, and Tyler Naquin. These guys have been incredible. If the pitchers can have decent numbers, I really do think that Cincinnati could definitely win the division, first of all. And honestly, try and make a move in the postseason. They're just so deep. It's kind of like the Marlins situation where they have a bunch of like guys that you're not really aware of, I should say, that you're not really like expecting to do a lot of damage, but then they just come out and destroy you, hit all over you. I shouldn't say pitch all over you because losing Bauer really hurt. Their offense, or if they had Bauer while their offense was this hot, I think they could be really like top 5, honestly. But besides Luis Castillo, the pitching just really isn't there. Again, I don't think this offense is going to really last, but we'll still enjoy it while it lasts. Cincinnati Reds 8th overall and first in the National League Central. At number 7, we have the New York Mets, another team that I'm really high on because they have the best pitcher in baseball in Jacob deGrom. They, along with the Nationals, have had a shortened schedule, I will say, due to coronavirus. You may have heard about that. But they have superstars on both sides. I mentioned deGrom, but then on the other side, they got Francisco Lindor this offseason, which was huge. Because they have like a really good supporting cast, but they never really had a true superstar. Now they have that guy in Lindor. Granted, he has not been playing good as of right now. Small sample size, but along with him, they got Brandon Nimmo, Dom Smith, Pete Alonso, who no one has decided to talk about. 50 home run season, didn't exist. Nimmo's hitting 464, 583, and 571. So they're scoring runs without their superstars playing good. That's what I like to see from the Mets. I have them dropping down a little bit since my initial rankings. However, I am high on the Mets still, mostly because of deGrom. I don't believe Syndergaard is going to come back. But, Marcus Stroman. How could I forget about him? deGrom and Stroman have a combined, this is not an average, they have a combined 1.37 ERA. Absolutely ridiculous. Mets have a serious chance to win a World Series this year. Coming in just shy of the top 5 is the other team in Chicago who's been playing significantly better than the Cubs, the Chicago White Sox, second in the American League Central. And I honestly think they have the best 5-man pitching rotation with Giolito, Lynn. Lynn's their 5th man, by the way. Carlos Rodon, Dallas Keuchel, and Michael Kopech, who I personally think that's the best depth pitching rotation. Granted, on the other side, or their bullpen, I should say, their bullpen's been good as well for the White Sox. But the injury to Eloy Jimenez will hurt them long term. He's out 4 to 6 months, if I can recall, and his loss will affect them greatly. And I think it's the race between them and Minnesota. I think those are the clear top 2 teams. So those games between their games with Minnesota will definitely impact them quite a bit. Right now, I do think Minnesota is slightly above Chicago. If without the injury to Jimenez, I think things would be different. However, one big name that I cannot leave out here is Yermin Mercedes. Already a huge rookie of the year candidate for the American League. He's been incredible, absolutely incredible. One of the hottest hitters in baseball, and he's a rookie. So that's a huge plus for the White Sox. And yeah, I think this team, again, super deep on both sides. They can definitely win a World Series. All these teams from 6 to 1 can win a World Series. even going back a little bit further. At number 5, starting the top 5, we have the Houston Astros. As much as I hate to say that, as much as people in general just want to hate to say it, the Astros are legit. First in the American League West, according to my rankings. They started off very, very, very hot, and they still have a lot of good guys. Bregman, Brantley, Altuve, Correa. I mean, the names are still there. The guys from this World Series team are still there. Again, I sound like a broken record. The concern is the pitching, and the bullpen is very, very, very poor. Besides Greinke, the starting rotation doesn't have a whole lot now that Justin Verlander is hurt. Kind of crazy that they had Verlander, Greinke, and Garrett Cole on one pitching rotation. Absolutely insane. But yeah, Houston, they started to level off a little bit, cool off, lose some games. But I still think they're a top 5 team. They can get hot. They get hot when they need to. If they're pitching outside of Greinke can improve and some guys can step up, these guys could be going back to a World Series. So interesting to see how that plays out, but right now they're number 5. At number 4, we have the New York Yankees, another team that people in general just want to bash on because, they're the Yankees with their rich history. What is happening, though? Come on, New York. I am cutting them some slack. Still have them top 5, but this has been like the worst start I think in history of the Yankees baseball organization existing. 5-10 right now. Come on. It's got to be better than that. They still have the pieces to win, though, I will say. Best bullpen in the league. I should definitely get that out of the way. They have Garrett Cole and Corey Kluber in the starters. Garrett Cole's still a top 3 pitcher, and I don't even need to say the guys that they have on offense. Judge, Voit, who I believe is hurt right now. Sanchez. I'm really blanking, aren't I? Their shortstop, Gleyber Torres, Giancarlo Stanton. There we go. So this team is completely built to win a World Series. They've been in the conversation for like 4 to 5 years now. I want to say time is running out, but is time running out, really? I mean, it's the Yankees. I think the championship window is still wide open for 2021. I don't think they really need to change anything. I guess starting pitcher depth is the only thing that they really need. But, the Yankees are legit. At number 3, we have the Minnesota Twins. Kind of crazy that I have them top 3. Some people might not agree with it because their record isn't great. The thing that I really like about them, I've always liked their offense. My question was, can their pitchers perform? From what I've seen so far, the answer is yes. Jose Barrios has really, really improved. Right now, he has a 2.16 ERA. So him and Maeda having that 1-2 punch is killer for the Twins. Nelson Cruz, ageless wonder alert, 40 or 41 years old, and he's still one of the best hitters in baseball. And they're winning games without their superstars performing. Outside of Cruz, they got Miguel Sano, Max Kepler, and Byron Buxton. None of these guys are hitting particularly good except for Cruz. He's just wonder. But they're still winning some games. Seeing their pitching and their starting pitching and bullpen help them to victory is really, really good to see. That's why I honestly have the Twins moving up rather than down, because they're getting these wins without great play from their superstars. So with that, have the Twins being first in the American League Central, and I think you can guess who those last 2 teams are. At number 2, we have the Padres. That means the Dodgers will be finishing number 1 if you know anything about process of elimination. But, kind of crazy that the top 2 teams are in the same division. I love the moves that San Diego has made. Clearly, the trade for Darvish and for Snell were absolute 100% great moves that have really, really paid off already. Darvish and Snell all over MLB's Instagram just with their great games so far. They are making a huge impact immediately, and they're winning a lot of games while Tatis is out. Myers and Hosmer and Machado have all hit really, really well. And Tatis had a shoulder injury, but I believe he is back now. He is back now. Yes, I just confirmed that. He has two home runs in the 3 games that he has been back. Expect him to make, or you've already seen, he's making an impact as soon as he comes back. One of the best players in the league right now. He's only in year 3. I love the Padres. I love their roster. I don't love them, but I just really respect the way that they've built this team up. I have them at number 2, second in the National League West. Crazy to say. So that means at number 1, the best team in baseball, according to my power rankings, are the LA Dodgers, and I don't even really need to say more, but I will. Best team, and I think there's a significant gap. I mean, come on. This team is all-stars at every single position. They lost Kiki Hernandez, and they lost Jock Peterson. That doesn't matter. Will Smith, Max Muncy, Kyle Seager, Cody Bellinger, Justin Turner. I mean, come on. I mean, this team's just absolutely stacked. That's not even saying anything about their pitching. First of all, their bullpen is top 10-ish. Used to be better, but now it's not incredible. The starting rotation. They got Trevor Bauer, the best team in baseball that just won a World Series, got the best pitcher in baseball. Not anymore, but I think he's still top 3. Bauer, Kershaw, Walker Buehler, who everybody seems to have just forgotten about, David Price, and Dustin May and Julio Urias are fighting for the first spot, or for the 5th spot. Not the first, the 5th spot. That is crazy. Dodgers are the best team in baseball. I don't think it's really close. So yeah, that pretty much wraps things up. Those are my power rankings. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, what you guys enjoyed, didn't enjoy from the video. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Look forward to making this video again in May. Thank you for watching again. Please like, comment, and subscribe.